Everyone thought Charles Whitaker was about to die. But then a barefoot girl walked into his hospital room and sang. The wind howled outside New Hope General Hospital in rural Colorado, where winter had settled like a ghost across the sleepy town of Windermere. Snow coated every rooftop, every windshield, muting the world beneath a hush of white. Inside room 407, a symphony of beeping machines broke the silence, each one a stubborn reminder that Charles Whitaker was still alive, barely. Charles had once ruled Silicon Valley headlines. A tech visionary, a billionaire, a family man. But all of that crumbled 2 years ago when a private jet carrying his wife and only son crashed during a business retreat in Aspen. Since then, he had retreated from the world, sold most of his companies, moved to this quiet town. And now, he was wasting away in a hospital bed, unresponsive, kept alive by machines and threads of medical hope. Nurses walked by, with sympathetic eyes. Doctors met in hushed tones. One nurse whispered, "He's waiting to die." Grief has locked him inside himself. But just as the world around him began to dim, another spark, unexpected and divine, was quietly making its way through the snow. 12-year-old Lily Hart knew how to go unnoticed. She had mastered the art of moving through spaces without being seen. With her hoodie pulled over her head, sleeves covering her hands, and feet red from the cold, she wandered the town searching for kindness, or at least something warm. Her most recent foster home had sent her away for the last time. They called her strange. They said she hummed eerie melodies that made lights flicker or caused their baby to stop crying and stare. The last straw had come when their dog followed Lily everywhere she went, even sleeping at her feet instead of its owner's bed. "You're not right," they told her. "You bring strange energy." Miss Darlene at the Windermere Family Shelter had welcomed her without asking too many questions. "There's something in your eyes," she'd said, handing Lily a warm blanket. "You've seen more than most grown-ups." At night, Lily would sneak into the laundry room and sing while folding towels. Not for others, but for herself. Songs her mother used to sing before the fire. Before the screaming. Before the dark. One night, she didn't know someone was listening. A grieving mother, staying temporarily at the shelter, stood outside the cracked door with tears running down her face. "That song," she whispered, "made me feel like I could breathe again." Lily didn't respond. She just kept singing. It was snowing harder the day Lily wandered into the hospital. She hadn't eaten since the night before and thought maybe, just maybe, someone might give her a cup of cocoa or a granola bar. But just as she approached the reception desk, she overheard something. "He's not going to last another 24 hours, a nurse said. "Charles Whitaker?" another voice asked. "He's given up. Grief can kill faster than any disease." Something stirred in Lily. She stepped away and quietly followed the hallway signs. Room 407. A strange calm guided her. She didn't ask for permission. No one stopped her. She opened the door, stepped in. It was cold. The man on the bed looked more like a statue than a person. Silent. Pale. Hooked to machines. Lily moved to the chair beside him and sat. Her fingers clutched the frayed fabric of her sleeve. And then she sang. It wasn't a song from the radio. It wasn't meant for fame. It was a lullaby, one she barely remembered, one whispered by her mother when the world was still good. Her voice was steady and haunting. Nurses in the hallway stopped. The monitor beeped faster. Charles's eyelids fluttered. A gasp escaped him. His chest rose deeper. A doctor burst in. "Mr. Whitaker?" Then the miracle happened. Charles opened his eyes. He stared directly at Lily. "Am I dead?" he rasped. She shook her head slowly. "Not anymore." The media exploded. Barefoot girl brings billionaire back to life with a song. But Lily didn't care. She returned to the shelter, trying to hide from cameras and reporters. Charles, however, could not forget her. As soon as he could walk, he found her. At the shelter, he knelt in front of her, not as a billionaire, but as a man reborn. "Why did you sing for me?" he asked. "Because I saw myself in you," she answered simply. "And I wanted you to come back." Tears filled his eyes. He asked to adopt her right then and there. Miss Darlene was stunned. But she knew, deep down, this wasn't random. It was destiny. Lily moved into Charles's lakeside home. Her first night, she stared at the stars from her own bedroom window, wrapped in a blanket that smelled of lavender. Her telescope pointed at the sky. For the first time, she dreamed with both eyes open. But every fairy tale has a shadow. Raymond Whitaker, Charles's younger brother, had always seen himself as the rightful heir to the Whitaker fortune. With Charles ill, he had begun preparations to take over the company. And then Lily, a 12-year-old orphan, had taken everything. Raymond smiled at cameras and sent fake congratulations. But behind closed doors, he plotted. First came the sabotage. Lily's school files were mysteriously deleted. Her flight lessons were canceled. Then came the sickness. She started waking with headaches, feeling dizzy. Her voice cracked. One night, she collapsed. Charles ran tests, hired private investigators. Then came the discovery. Her bedtime tea had been laced with a slow-acting toxin. The maid confessed. Paid off by Raymond. Raymond was arrested. But the trial brought another miracle. In a crowded courtroom, Lily stood, pale but unafraid. She sang just a single verse of a lullaby that saved Charles. The room went silent. The jury wept. Raymond was convicted. Charles stepped away from the boardroom and into something better. Together with Lily, he founded Sing to Mend, a foundation to help children cope with trauma through music and therapy. Lily grew up among counselors, artists, and survivors. She studied psychology. She became a certified music therapist. At 19, she stood at the center of a gala fundraiser, no longer a frightened girl with broken crayons, but a woman who had turned her pain into purpose. To every child who feels unseen, she said on stage, you are not invisible. You are not unworthy. One act of kindness can rewrite an entire story. The audience rose in a standing ovation. Ending the moral. Sometimes the greatest medicine isn't made in a lab. It's found in a song, a heart that won't give up, and a child brave enough to believe that love still lives, even in silence.